Hello everybody and welcome to the fourth video in our series of videos on the 1798 rebellion. As always, we begin with our learning outcomes, so by the end of this presentation you guys should know methods of torture used by the British and how it led to a rebellion in Wexford. Second, you guys should know how Lord Fitzgerald was captured and how it led to the failure of rebellion in Dublin, Meath and Kildare. And finally, you guys should be able to recount how rebellion in Wexford spread from the hills of Oulart to New Ross. Last time we saw how the United Irishmen in Belfast had been virtually destroyed and how leading United Irishmen in Leinster were arrested, which led to the British finding plots of an Irish rebellion. The British embarked on a campaign of terror against the Croppies. The Croppies was the name they gave to the revolutionaries who had cropped their hair like the French fashion of the French Revolution. They used torture techniques like the triangle, which they tied suspects to and flogged to get information from them. They also carried around gallows and they tortured people by half hanging them until they gave up information. And they also invented a new horrific form of torture called pitch capping, in which they used pitch or tar, which was mixed with gunpowder. It was placed on the suspect's head and set on fire, and the flames wouldn't be put out until the whereabouts of the arms or the information had been revealed. Despite all of this, the leading United Irishman in the country, Lord Edward Fitzgerald, was still free and had planned for the rebellion to take place on the 23rd of May 1798. Fitzgerald had served for the British forces in the US War of Independence, but was now Commander-in-Chief of the Irish rebels. However, 4 days before the rebellion on the 19th of May 1798, Fitzgerald was betrayed and injured and arrested when fighting his way out of a building he was surrounded in. So, despite another massive blow to the rebels, on the 23rd of May, the signal that the start of the rebellion had begun in Dublin, Meath and Kildare was given when the mail coaches leaving Dublin were attacked and stopped. However, with no real leadership and a lack of weapons, the rebellion was quickly put down. Here in Dublin, Kildare and Meath, it was quickly put down, and it led to fears from people in Wicklow and Wexford that the atrocities that they heard about would be carried out down where they were prisoners of war, had been killed, and now the people of Wicklow and Wexford were terrified that they would be next. In fact, a group of loyalists, or people loyal to the British around Gorey, known as the Black Mob, led by a man named Hunter Gowan, burned homes, they flogged people to death and tortured people with pitch capping. It is also recorded that Hunter Gowan stirred his drink at a celebration in Gorey with the amputated finger of one of his victims. Terrified people took to the hills of North Wexford. They captured some weapons at Camolan, which would be halfway between Gorey and Enniscorthy, and they set up a base here on Oulart Hill. They were led by Father John Murphy of Boulavogue, whose church had been burned down. The rebels were attacked by the North Cork Yeoman militia on Oulart Hill on the 27th of May. They had been sent to remove them from the hill, but the militia was defeated with only 4 out of 109 surviving. The rebels came down the hill, gathering numbers along the way, and attacked Enniscorthy, as you can see here on the map. Armed with only pikes, the rebels took the town after fierce fighting at Duffrey Gate. On the 31st of May, the rebels arrived at Wexford town, where they defeated the Meath Yeoman militia at the Three Rocks just outside the town. Once they captured Wexford, they freed the leading United Irishmen in Wexford from Wexford jail, Bagenal Harvey. And it was here in Wexford that the first Irish Republic was declared. A flag bearing Éireann go Bragh was unveiled. The next thing they did was they planned an assault on New Ross to spread the revolution west to Waterford, Kilkenny and Carlow. So on the 5th of June, the rebels rushed down Corbett Hill outside New Ross, led by John Kelly, who was immortalised in the song The Boy from Killaan, and they attacked the 3 bullet gates in New Ross. After a day of fighting, the rebels had nearly taken the whole town, but then the exhausted rebels turned to get food and drink and sleep instead of securing the town. The British troops counterattacked, completely surprising the rebels and defeated them in a brutal fashion. So brutal was the counterattack that a hospital containing 100 injured rebels was burned to the ground. Fortunately, this wasn't the only atrocity of this war, and we will look at further incidents like this in the next video. So that brings us to the end of our presentation. So you guys should now know methods of torture used by the British and how it led to rebellion in Wexford. You guys should know how Lord Fitzgerald was captured and how it led to the failure of rebellion in Dublin, Meath and Kildare. And finally, you guys should be able to account how rebellion in Wexford spread from Oulart to New Ross. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys got something good from this video.